So, good day, everyone. This is week 4 lecture Political, Legal, and Economic Environments in International Business Marketing. So, the learning objective is evaluate how political, legal, and economic systems shape international markets, apply insights to understand how policies affect Philippine businesses and global trade. Okay, when companies expand globally, they do not operate in a vacuum. They face rules, regulations, and economic forces that vary across borders. Marketing strategies must align not only with consumer preference, but also with the laws, trade policies, and political stability of each country. Example, in the Philippines, Jollibee's expansion to the US faced challenges not because customers didn't like the food, but because of stringent health, franchising, and labor laws. This illustrates how non-market factors affect business success. The political environment, political system, democracy, decisions shaped by elections, laws, and people's voices. Example, in the US, in the Philippines. Authoritarian system, policies controlled by central authority. Example, in China. For marketers, democracies offer freedom of advertising and competition, while authoritarian regimes may impose strict censorship. Example, Google's limited entry in China. Political stability and risk. Businesses prefer stable governments. Political unrest leads to supply chain disruption and consumer uncertainty. Philippines example, martial law years created a volatile environment that discouraged foreign investment. By contrast, today, Build program under infrastructure policies attracted foreign investors in construction. Government intervention in business. Subsidies, tax incentives, and ease of doing business policies can encourage trade. Example, the Philippine Economic Zone Authority, PEZA, offers tax holidays to multinational companies like Texas Instrument in Baguio and Intel in Cavite. The legal environment. Trade-related laws, tariffs and duties. This is one of the examples. So taxes on imports and export. Example, Philippines imposes tariff on imported rice to protect local farmers and quotas limits on how much can be imported. Example, sugar import quotas protect Filipino sugar planters. Now let's go now to intellectual property rights or IPR. Okay, this is an example of a legal environment. So it protects brands, patents, and innovation. Problems in the Philippines. Pirated DVDs, fake branded bags, and knockoff tech still circulate despite the intellectual property laws. Case. Local clothing brand like Bench invest heavily in branding because protecting logos and design is crucial against fake. Consumer protection and advertising laws. Truth in advertising laws prevent false claims. Example, the FDA Philippines regulate food, supplements, and drug. That is the Food Drug Authority in the Philippines. No? Products like herbal teas must carry disclaimers like no approved therapeutic claims. International trade agreements. World Trade Organization or WTO pushes for free trade. So ASEAN Free Trade Area or the AFTA reduces tariff among Southeast Asian countries. Example, because of AFTA, Filipino mangoes face lower tariffs when exported to Singapore, making them more competitive. Okay. The economic environment. There are types of economies. No? The types of economies. Number one, developed economies, like the United States and Japan. Their characteristics is they have high purchasing power, saturated markets. Now, emerging economies like the Philippines and Vietnam. Their characteristics is growing middle class, strong market potential. Developing economies or characteristics lower income, high risk but potential long-term opportunities. Example, why brands like Uniqlo and IKEA enter the Philippines? Answer, the growing middle class signal rising consumer demand. Number two, key economic indicators for markets. So these are for marketers. No? As a marketers, these are key economic indicators. If it is all positive, it means it's nice to enter into that market. So the first key indicator that the marketer should watch out is GDP growth rate. Measure market potential. Philippines GDP growth 5 to 6% yearly pre-pandemic attracted global retailers. Next, another key economic indicator for marketers to watch out is inflation rate. It affects consumer purchasing power. For example, high oil prices increases production and shipping costs. Next, another key indicator is exchange rate. Say a strong dollar makes imports more expensive in the Philippines but boosts remittance value from OFW. So there are a lot, no? I may add, no? Key economic indicators could be consumer confidence, okay? Or demographic profile, like for example, aging population. No? These are the key economic indicators that might affect, no, marketers when they enter new market. Next is economic policies and trade liberalization. Example, Philippines entry into the WTO in 1995 forced it to lower tariffs on imports, making the market more competitive. So cheaper imports benefited consumers. What's the con? No? Local industries like garments and shoes suffered from cheaper Chinese imports. Now let's go now to foreign direct investment, FDI. Inflows of capital from multinational companies. So that's the meaning of that. No, it's the inflow of capital from multinational companies. Example, BPO industries in the Philippines like Accenture, Concentrix, Teleperformance, it created millions of jobs, making the country BPO capital of the world. Okay. Linking the three environments, political, legal, and economic. The global business environment overlaps. What do you mean by that? Political policy shape laws. Laws influence how business operate, and economic conditions determine if markets are profitable. Let's have a case study. Philippine Eagle Cement versus imported cement. Okay, political. Government imposes tariff on imported cement to protect local jobs. Legal. But WTO rules still requires that it opens to trade. Economic. Lower import prices benefit consumers but threaten local cement producers. So that's how it interlaps, no? Political, legal, and economic. So it is like a paradox nga, you know? So political, it means we have to impose it because we sign, no? We have to and adhere to open trade policy. But legal, it is required by WTO. Okay, political, it means they have to protect the local jobs. Economic, it lowers import prices but benefits consumers but threaten local cement producers. Okay, so in conclusion, international marketing is shaped not only by consumer demand but politics, laws, and economies. Marketers must adapt strategies based on the host country's environment. And in the Philippines, the balance between protecting local industries and integrating to global trade remains a constant policy change. Okay, I hope you learned something and see you in the next session. Bye.